Coming up next is Bianca Bob.
So when I see those reflecting pools out on the plaza, I'm always thinking about the worlds that were once here. And for me, I'm always remembering what it's like to be at the rock bottom, underneath where the pools disappear, and what it's like to drive a golf cart up what's left of Tower 1. So, how does a chick who writes music and movies end up down there in a hard hat with this flower head dress and a respirator? Someone said to me, "You can't do that." No, you can't go do that. So, I'm a native New Yorker, and I don't do well with "you can't do that," or "no" in general. So, when those towers got hit, it was like the front teeth of my hometown getting knocked down our throats. And my family was okay, thank God. My friends had lost people. And everybody wanted to help. I wanted to help fix it. So I tried volunteering. No. Tried getting blood. No. Or I don't know. Or no, you can't do anything. There's nothing to be done. So that Friday, I went down to 14th Street to try to volunteer at Salvation Army. Everybody had the same idea. There were hundreds of people outside. Chaos. In the middle of this, there's a sandwich board, sign, big block letters. It says, "No volunteers, come back Tuesday." Being of Italian descent, it's my DNA, I ignore all signs. Look at this. Please, I'm not coming back Tuesday. No, today is the day. I'm staying. And I have a Sharpie. So I see these line of guys throwing water jugs into a Walmart truck that's coming down here to Ground Zero. I step into the line, I pick up the jug, I throw it. And another, and another. And they're heavier than they look. 20 hours later, with my Sharpie, I rearranged the entire Salvation Army emergency supply room, relabeled it, 200 sandwiches, Sharpied those two, and packed 500 rat traps into a cargo van coming down here, and try not to think about why. And then Saturday comes, Salvation Army gives me a red zone tag to come and volunteer with them down here at Ground Zero. They also asked for next of kin, because what could possibly go wrong down here? And that Saturday night turned into 9 months of staying through the recovery. So, I was a Gator girl, and Gators are these souped up golf carts on steroids, no seatbelts, no turn signals, no horn. So you gotta yell a lot and try not to get hit by large machines. And at that time, all the roads around here were closed. The highway was shut, the streets were shut, it was lockdown. There's really no businesses open, that many. So if you wanted to eat or drink, you had to go way off site. It was a tough thing to get that stuff. So my job was to get in the Gator and drive these 10-gallon coffee urns on the back of the Gator with snacks and supplies like gloves and socks, bring them to the command posts and the huts where the recovery work was going on. And I had this big outfit. I looked like a puffball. I had like sweatshirts because I was always cold, and a rain jacket because it was always wet down here because they were hosing down everything constantly. Steel-toe boots, goggles, the hair up in a bun underneath the hard hat. It was puffy, very puffy, and it was hard work, and it was heavy lifting, mentally and physically. And it made me question my sanity. After a point, it's like, why am I doing this? Why am I coming down here for 9 months? Here's why. A friend of mine had a funeral for her husband that she lost here, and they had not recovered him. To give some closure to her son, she decided to have a service. So there we all were at a wake and a funeral with an empty casket. They called it a loner casket, like something you bring back. And this kind of messed my head up and deeply disturbed me. So for me, recoveries were a big deal down here, and it sounds odd to say, but it was a happy day when we found someone. And you could always kind of tell when it would happen, because it would get real quiet. And work would kind of stop. There's just like the Nextel was going, the crackle, and the generators. Workers and volunteers would stop and they'd line up. And these ambulances, silent, will come and descend. Just the lights, no sirens. Then with silent salutes, hand over heart, and very gently, they would bring someone and recover someone gently with love and respect out and up and back home, wherever home was. And it was a great feeling being able to support this kind of work and to be part of this honor guard. It was profound. But that kind of stuff piles up. There's an unwritten rule down here. You don't cry in front of the guys. That's kind of tough because there's a lot of freaking guys. That's like a lot of not crying for 9 months. So as this pile of 7 stories of stuff started becoming like this inverted pit, it started piling up on me. And I started feeling kind of worn down and just hard. The sight had kind of got into me. And maybe because I would drive fast and work hard, I didn't want to see something else that would overwhelm me more. So I was always just driving and trying not to think about what I was driving over. But one night, I just stopped. I just stopped, I parked the gator, and I just took a good look at all of this. And there's the one train split open like a suicide vein with the tracks exposed and rusted, and there's the Hudson like relentlessly pushing in the bathtub walls and shifting the earth under your feet, and the grapplers are going and they're chewing this metal and steel and spitting it out, and there's these guys with garden tools sifting through it for someone, and some of them were looking for their kids. And there's a chunk of 10 stories of Trade Center that's this big next to an intact light bulb, and you're holding a piece of lobby in your hand, 70 stories, 70 feet underneath sea level. These kind of physics, I'm never going to understand. And no one could. And no one can fix this kind of thing. So I decided to do something I hadn't done in months. Took off my respirator, and I wiped my mouth, and I put on this big red lipstick. Big and fat. And it felt good. It's kind of hard to wear a respirator and lipstick at the same time because you end up looking like a cat lady or a party clown. I did that, took my hair down out of the hard hat, and I clipped these flowers onto my safety vest, and it felt like the most defiant thing I had done in months. So I let my chick out, and the world kind of shifted a little bit. Instead of mirroring back this hardness and trying to be as tough as what I was seeing down here, I kind of let it go soft and tried to create these visual moments of levity and funniness and the unexpected. So started wearing this big velvet Grateful Dead hat on top of my hard hat, crusted in flowers. I'd roll up to some big tough fire guy or a welder and make them wear the hat and make them wear a purse and take photos of them, and they loved it. I throw Mardi Gras beads and do Irish river dances out of the gator. I pimped out the gator with bunny ears, and things started to change and shift, and people were able to laugh. And that, for me, was the tool that I had not come to this fight with. I had been fighting the wrong fight for months until I found that losing to Clint Eastwood and tapping the inner Bugs Bunny as drag queen really was a better fit for me, you know. So upstairs, I don't know if you've seen it, but there's a video clip, and you can see me in it walking down the metal ramp the last day towards the end of recovery. And it's May 2002, we're cutting down the last beam. And I'm walking arm in arm with Bill Butler and Rosemary Kane, she's here somewhere, and we're arm in arm, and these are 2 FDNY parents who each lost a son, and both of these people came to work here, the recovery, and that to me is incredible strength. That's real strength. And I'm really glad that clip is in a wide shot because I'd broken the rule. And I was just a mess of tears. I was like, done. Because I was really upset, happy it was done, but so upset that we couldn't get more people out and bring them home. But that was something nobody could fix. But again, you can make the landing a little softer for everybody as you go along. And that's when I saw one thing of beauty down there. As I were leaving the site, walking up that ramp, all along where the Memorial Plaza is now, there were hundreds of Marines dressed in white. They looked like doves. All around, blocks. We're walking up, and as we get towards them, they're saluting us like an honor guard. Blew me away. So that's what I'm thinking about when I see the reflecting pools, and I'm thinking about all those people that I'll never forget. And when people say, never forget, I'm like, please. It kind of irritates me just a little bit, because I can't forget them. And what I think about is what I want to reflect back and create today. Because you can recreate all the ugliness and hate and inhumanity that you saw down there and bring more of it, or you can resist with love. And if you see that big wave coming, you can fight it, or you can duck under it. And there's always something you can do. And everybody has something to reflect and give back. And don't ever let anybody tell you that you can't do something. And it's also a really good idea to carry a Sharpie.